that we've got the top quilted, you can tell that some of this needs to be trimmed off. If it's okay, if it's a little wonky, I did the stitching on it with the machine, and the stitching I did tried to bubble it up, but really it's not going to be a big deal. I have 2 different colors because I ran out of thread. That's why you always keep handy extra thread too. Anyway, we're going to trim up those and put those just aside for a minute. In the meantime, we're going to come over here and we're going to work on our pocket. So for our pocket, what we're going to want to do is flip it over facing each other, 1/4 inch on 3 sides. Once you sew the 3 sides, flip it inside out, iron it, maybe cut out the corners, and then we're going to tuck this top part in and iron down 1/4 inch because we're going to put our pocket on also. So right now we're going to do our pocket. So 1/4 inch on 3 sides, and then we're going to trim up our pieces over here, and then we'll get to the next step. Okay, so now we have sewn 3 sides for our pocket. We have the 1/4 inch folded in here, ironed in to make it nice and easy. Then we're going to take a piece of our lining. It really does not matter which one. And then we're going to just plop it right center best we can, or wherever you really want to put it, honestly. Pin it down, and then when we sew it, we want to get as close to the edge as we can, maybe 1/8 inch, just to kind of keep it, and then just go straight across here and sew up, because we put the open part on the bottom because that's an obvious sew. That way our top, it's already nice and level. So we're going to sew 1/8 inch seam here on the bottom and on the side, and these are our tops because remember, these are our bottoms. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to come over here, since we're already going to be at the sewing machine, and let's see, how about we put these together, and I think let's start with just doing our sides. I think that will be the easiest way to do it step by step. So we're going to put them together, line them up, and we're going to do 1/4 inch down both sides. And we're also putting our pocket on. And after we get done with that step, we'll move on to the next. Okay, so now we have our pocket sewn in, perfect for a phone, keys, anything that we don't want lost in our little purse. We have sewn the edges, and I trimmed as much of the batting down as I could. We're going to leave it like that for a minute because I've almost forgotten a step, like our handles. Yes, I'm brilliant. So this should be good for our batting. What we're going to do is first, we're going to get our little strip plenty long enough. We're going to put it over our shoulder, debate on how long we want to put our purse. Make a couple little snips here. Ooh, took out my finger. Okay, so got this piece and this piece. So we have 2 identical pieces. And yes, I have more scraps. Yes. And I almost had enough. If I stretch it, I'm gonna have enough. we're going to stretch it and we're going to work with it with what we got here instead of trying to dig out another piece. And it's going to be okay. And maybe if I could get on the edge here, that would be even better. And of course, I left all my things down there and my scissors. Okay, we're gonna pin it down, stretched out, and we're gonna leave it pinned on there. But we're gonna cut this out, and after we cut it out, we are going to take our other piece, we're gonna lay it down on here. We're going to put a 1/4 inch seam on both sides, not at the ends, just the sides. 1/4 inch seam of these together, sewing our batting onto one of these pieces as we do it. And then we're gonna flip it inside out. Simple? Maybe? Let's try it. Okay, so now we have our strap, because we did the 1/4 inch on each side. We put the two pieces together and we flipped it inside out. So now what we're gonna need to do is, I left my pins over there again. We're going to we're gonna try to center up the best we can right here. We're gonna center it up right there. We're gonna pin these little babies open. And we're gonna run a stitch right there to hold it. And without twisting our strap, we're gonna do the same thing over here. Open our stitches because that will help a lot. Just stitch across there once or twice to hold it. Make sure it's not too far down, otherwise it's gonna mess it up later. So keep it up in the top 1/4 inch because that's where we're gonna be working. So we're gonna put that on there like so. And while we're at the sewing machine, let's go ahead, take our lining, and I can't decide which way is which. Yep, this side. We're gonna put these two together and line everything up nice and neat. And what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna make our 1/4 inch seam on these two sides right here, nowhere down here yet. We're just working on these two sides and putting our straps on. And then we'll go from there. Okay, so now we have our strap on at least a little bit, and I went back because I've been flip-flopping whether this is gonna be the easiest way or not. We may have some issues here in a minute with this, but for now I think the easiest way to put in our zipper, because zippers are fun, is I took apart my lining, and what we're going to do is we're going to stick our zipper on here, and it looks like it's gonna run straight across here. Actually, yeah, it is. It's gonna be right. Okay. I'm struggling, obviously. So this one needs to be face down to that. Yes. Alright. Then we're actually going to put our zipper in here. Gonna line it up to where our zipper hits the actual block. And come down here, and our zipper actually hits that also. Yay, the first thing that's gone right with this project so far. Okay. I'm going to pin it here for a minute until I can get my other piece going. Make sure it's straight. We're just gonna do one side at a time because our corners may be a little wonky. Like I said, the zipper parts and the little things aren't exactly my favorite parts. Okay, so we have that there. We're going to center up our lining the best we can. We're actually going to pin that on there too. That way and we're just going to sew the zipper on for now. Then we're going to go back and hit the corners. But for now, we're just worried about from where the zipper starts to where the zipper ends. So we have it where our zipper is going to be facing up, because right now it's facing the quilted part. So we're going to have our lining there. So what we're going to do is we're going to sew this side in down, and then we're going to come back and we're going to flip it over, put the zipper on here, and put that part in. But let's take this one step at a time and sew this one down first to make sure we don't screw it up real good. Okay, so we have the first side on. When we flip it over, our zipper is on there nice and neat like so. So we're going to get this out of the way. We're going to tuck it in like where it would be. Okay. And let's see. Sure, that looks right. And maybe for this piece we might flip it inside out because this might be easier. Let's see if it is. Yes, it actually is going to be easier if I flip it inside out at this point. Because my next thing that I need to do is I flipped it inside out and I'm lining up my zipper again because I need to sew the other side of my zipper. So then we're going to get our piece here and we're going to sandwich it just like we did the last one. Our good side is going to be facing in. We're going to line these lining fabrics up here so we are aligned with that. And right here we're going to make sure our points align right there. And why is this way up here? I don't know. But we're going to have all that aligned. And then I'll lift my pins. That's small. Let's try this again. Okay. Lined up here. Make sure all that's good and tucked in. Line that up there. Scoot it down. Here. Actually, stop moving. Okay. Make sure this side's all nice and lined up too. There. Going to scoot it down there. Not too far though. Like so. Okay. And one more pin in here just to keep it from sliding around. Alright, and now we're going to go through and we're going to put our other seam with our zipper. And I can feel the zipper about right here, so I'm going to get as close to that as I can. And then we'll come back for another step.